This week in our collective heads, wanna put an old rumor to bed. Stereotype that you've all heard, how we're all just angry video game nerds. Most of us have actual jobs, kids and families and cats and dogs, yeah. This week in our collective heads, this week in our collective heads.
Welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads. We're giving you gaming news like we do every single week. And this week, we're a little short on news. Not terribly short, but just a little bit. Wanted to start off with a slight delay, and that is to our favorite, one of our favorite franchises. Dark Souls on Switch is going to be delayed until summer. I'm not upset with this because I want it to run smoothly, especially since it's on the Nintendo Switch. I want the frame rate to be smooth. This game cannot chug. This game cannot falter when it comes to frame rate. Resolution can get a little weird, but that's fine. Excuse me while I take a little swig. While I talk about chugging, I'm fine with this delay. As we've said before, get the game right, get it to work, get it polished, and then release it. I'm tired of day one patches that are the only reason that a game can work. Just got God of War, and it's great. It had 2 day one patches. First one was 9 gig, the second one was 6.5 gig, I think, or something to that effect. That's a big, sizable download for day one. Now, on our connection, I mean, that didn't take too long to download and install. I think it took about 7 or 8 minutes. But that's 7 or 8 minutes of where we got hyped. We were about to play it, and put the disc in, and got on our cell phones and waited. And that to me is just unfortunate. It should just be playable right outside the box. Animal Crossing, by the way, is in the news because Nintendo is adding loot boxes to Animal Crossing. And you may be asking yourself, why would you add loot boxes to Animal Crossing? The only answer is money. Lots and lots and lots of money. Nintendo is hoping to cash in on the loot box craze, which, again, is very sad to me because this is the bottom of the barrel. The loot boxes and microtransactions and trying to milk as much money out of your fans as possible is completely sad. I understand doing that to an extent. What a lot of these companies are doing, though, is they're doing anything and everything that they can to get as much money out of you that they can, and that is sad. When your business practices are revolving around how to get more money and how to make something more addictive, it's just completely crazy. And that's hopefully Nintendo's not going into that department, but they're obviously trying to make more money off the money that they couldn't make before. Pocket Camp was freemium anyways, so I can't really fault it too harsh because you didn't pay for it and then get loot boxes, but I still think that loot boxes really are not needed for this. Another thing that's not needed, and I think this is going to count for Kevin's third, Black Ops 4 has announced, that the developers have announced that Black Ops 4 will have a Battle Royale mode instead of campaign mode. I think it's crazy to me that every company is trying to go onto this, including well-established companies. There's no reason for Call of Duty to do this except for trying to jump on the bandwagon. This is the year of Battle Royale, and it will fall. It will fall. It is a flash in a pan, and you can look back on this and tell me that I'm wrong, but this is a flash in the pan. Everyone is trying to do Battle Royale, and to me and to most other gamers, we're tired of it. It's being shoved down our throats. Also, we talked about this on a previous show. By the way, I hate that Black Ops 4 has... I really wish this was Roman numerals. I know they're going for for hash marks instead of Roman numerals, but it's really dumb to me. We've talked about this on the show before, and I'm trying to remember the exact the exact numbers on it, but I believe it was something to the effect of 60 or 65, maybe 70%. I can't remember the exact number, but the majority of the money and funding and resources to make a video game, to make like Call of Duty or Battlefield, the majority of those resources actually went to the campaign. So what the developers started doing was they started shortening the campaign so they didn't have to spend as much resources on that, but still have you pay $60 for the same game. And what we're having here is more and more of that. It's easier, it takes less resources, it is easier to design in regards to the graphics, in regards to the overall money. It's easier to make a battle royale game than it is to make a single player game, to make a single player campaign. So what companies are doing is they're basically saying, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. The companies view you as a shill, and they're saying we can make a game for 30 to 40% of what we used to make a game for. Let's just do that and charge the same amount. That's crap. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you're buying a car and you find out the new, latest, Mustang or whatever it is, if you find out that behind the scenes, we actually save over 50% in the cost of making this in regards to labor, in regards to materials when it comes to labor, and if that company is going to charge you the same amount for the product, for the car, you shouldn't be buying the car. That is a company essentially taking advantage of the consumer, and that's what video game companies are doing now. The cost of making games was rising, so they decided to cut it back and take out what used to be standard. Cutting out the campaign is dumb. And as Owen said in the comments, said, don't mind Battle Royale mode being in there. It makes sense, honestly. Battlefield should do it too. Everyone's going to do this. But getting rid of the campaign is stupid. There's a lot of people who play these games just for the campaign. And getting rid of the campaign, I mean, we saw what happened with Halo. When Halo took out couch co-op, their sales dwindled, and that's what I think is going to happen with this to an extent. I will predict that this Call of Duty, that Black Ops 4 will sell less than 3. They'll obviously sell less than 2 because 3 sold less than 2, but we're going to see this downward trajectory because they're cutting out content that people want to play. You'll have people who will buy the game new. I know people who will buy the game new to play it, and then they'll sell it later on, or they'll keep it in their collection. Some people are collectors, and they will buy it and they will keep it and they will play it, or they'll buy it and it'll end up in their backlog, which I would be willing to bet that I'm going to say 30-40% of people who purchase new video games buy the new video game and do not play it within the first 2 weeks. That's my guess. I think that a lot of people buy games because the game is out and they are busy, or they're finishing up other games. Maybe they pre-ordered. Some people will wait, sure, but there's a lot of pre-order incentives, and some people will, they'll be in Target or wherever and grab the game because it's out, and they won't play it for a while because they have other games to play or other adult priorities. So let's move on to other things. Speaking of Call of Duty, USO and Activision are giving copies of Call of Duty over to the military. I think it's 100,000 copies. They're giving it out to military overseas, which is fantastic that they're doing this. There are a lot of troops who enjoy these games. I do find it interesting that I know people that do it, but I find it interesting after either being in combat, or maybe part of it is I think part of it's missing some of the combat from the people I've talked to, and you spend the majority of your time anticipating if something's going to happen, and this is a nice release of stress when you're deployed. That being said, in addition to this, a lot of the troops that we're talking about don't have a decent internet connection, can't play online. So what are they playing? They're playing the campaign. Again, full circle to the campaign being what a lot of people want to play. And if it's good enough for the troops, why isn't it good enough for everybody else? Now, they're not getting a campaign that we're not getting, but still, it's irritating. Back onto more Battle Royale. PUBG is getting a map select because, as we all know, PUBG got a second map, and it's going to get a third. And now we're going to get a map select screen on the game. And we can't... Sorry, I hit the wrong button. I think it would be easy to blame PUBG for this craze of Battle Royale. To me, I'm not going to blame anything for it. I've played PUBG a few times. I'm not hooked on it. By the way, if you're watching this live, Xbox has a free weekend to try PUBG on your Xbox right now. So if you want to do that, go for it. To me, I haven't been hooked by PUBG. I'm hooked more by Fortnite than I am PUBG, but I think that's because of the people I'm playing with. I guess I need to play PUBG again because I haven't played it in quite a while. There's a lot of changes that have been made, but let me know in the comments what your favorite Battle Royale mode is, and let's talk about other things that are really bad. Something that I think is objectively bad. PUBG is subjectively bad, but Konami making new Castlevania games for mobile is objectively bad in every sense of the word. They're making a Castlevania for mobile, which I'm sure someone asked for. So you're going to get a Castlevania for iOS. I don't understand why they don't just make games like Symphony of the Night. There's so much here that can be done. And I feel like this is going to be one way or another cash grab. And I hate to keep being negative, but Konami is the company that fired Hideo Kojima and are making pachinko machines. They said we're going to invest more in pachinko because pachinko makes us more money. Again, we're talking about a company that diverted their assets and did everything that they can to make more money. So I think that we're going to see that with this as well. They're going to use their license, and they're going to continue to try to milk money out of everybody. So Owen mentioned in the comments, in regards to PUBG, he said, "Good because the desert map sucks because of the lack of good loot, lack of a good loot table. First map and the new map are more fun. Don't blame anything on Battle Royale. Battle Royale is fun. I get it. Yeah, Battle Royale is fun. It is fun. I think, like I said, this is going to be the year of Battle Royale, and it's going to, I don't know, it's going to get a lot of people jaded, in my opinion. There should be more interesting and innovative gameplay. And when you hear a company like Activision who literally said our creative direction is to go Battle Royale, that tells me you are creatively bankrupt. You're saying my creative direction is to do what everyone else is doing and make a Battle Royale mode. And sorry, but that's not creative. You're doing what everyone else did. That's creativity. That's anti-creativity, whatever that would be. What is creative, though, is Ewok Hunt. And by that I don't mean you're hunting Ewoks, but Battlefront 2 launched a new mode, Ewok Hunt, where you play as Ewoks hunting stormtroopers, because everyone wanted to reenact the guerrilla warfare tactics of the Ewoks and the nonsense of throwing small rocks at stormtroopers. Professionally trained stormtroopers. These are the... And yes, make your jokes about stormtroopers not being able to hit anything. I'll tell you why that's wrong in a minute. But Ewoks hunting stormtroopers, to me, I don't see why people would want to play this. I really don't. There's a lot of fun stuff to do in Battlefront. I don't think this is one of them. One of the great things about Battlefront is the huge scope and the amazing things that can be pulled off. Sure, I guess if you want to play something stealth, then that's fine. Stormtroopers. Everyone talks about stormtroopers not being able to hit anything. There is a fan theory that the reason the Stormtroopers missed in Episode 4 and somewhat in other ones is that Vader... Okay, so I'll have to go back just a little bit. Obi-Wan and... it's Obi-Wan, right? Yeah. Can't remember. Someone stated in the Falcon when they got Princess Leia back from the Empire, specifically stated that it seemed too easy. The way they got away was just almost too easy. So there's a theory that the Empire, that Tarkin and Vader let them rescue Princess Leia to get to the Rebel base, because they couldn't find what the Rebel base was, but Princess Leia would lead them to it, and she did. She led them right to Yavin. So the theory is that the Stormtroopers couldn't hit anything because they were ordered to make it look like they were gonna attack them, but to not kill them and let them go. But they had to make sure it looked good, because otherwise they would think something was up and they wouldn't go back to the Rebel base, which I think is a really cool theory. I think it definitely could be right, but it's retconning. I mean, really, we're talking about just poor writing in regards to George Lucas's part. I mean, let's be honest, Episode 4 was amazing, but it's an editing marvel more than anything else. And yes, Owen, I agree. 5 people left playing Battlefront 2 can do it. I play it every now and then, like every couple weeks. I jump in and I'm like, oh, this is fun, and I'm done. I play 2 or 3 rounds and I'm done. Kevin's very excited about this next bit of news, but I am not. So Nicholas, who did Binding of Isaac, has put out a new trailer about Legend of Bumbo, which is the new game, but I'm not excited about this, because what it essentially is a match 3 game. It's a match 3 timed RPG battle game. So you're taking the match 3 aspects of games like Candy Crush and others, and you are allowing that to combat whatever you find in these rooms or whatever you're going. It's randomly generated in regards to the rooms. It's going to be randomly generated in regards to the puzzles, obviously, because it is a match 3 game. I mean, I played Candy Crush for a while. I was like, oh, this is cool. It's addictive. But by a while, I think it was like 2 months, and I don't see why. I'm just really negative today. I'm sorry, but I think that I'm curious what direction Nicholas will take on this game, but I'm not sure how this will lend itself to the combat that's going on. And because you have in Binding of Isaac, it's randomly generated, so sometimes you have very almost insurmountable situations. Sometimes situations that I would say are pretty much unwinnable. But it's randomly generated, and it's scaled to an extent. But here you're going to have randomly generated enemies. You're going to have randomly generated puzzles, and if you're not able to hit a certain, I'm sure there's a way to do it on the back end in regards to metrics, but if you're not able to hit a certain level of points, you're not going to be able to defeat the enemies. So I don't know. We'll see how it is. This is going to be launching on PC and mobile, not on Switch, which is sad because I think it should be on Switch. My guess is it will launch later on Switch, but we'll see what happens. Got only I think 7 weeks more before E3, so we're gonna have a predictions video out soon about that. I've got some things I'm predicting. Kevin's already mentioned a couple things to me. I can't remember if he mentioned them on the show, but we'll have a predictions video out soon. I think probably a couple weeks prior to E3. We want to get it out early enough so we can talk about it, so we can speculate, and not too close where people are already leaking things that are going to be there, because usually 2 or 3 days before E3 there's already leaks coming out. So I'm going to try to get that out probably about a week to 2 weeks prior to E3. But let me know what you think of E3. Are you happy about everything going Battle Royale, or do you think it needs to go away? I know all the parents out there of kids between the ages of, let's say, 8 and 12 are ready to get rid of Fortnite. Let me know in the comments if your kids are playing Fortnite and if you're tired of it. We'll see you later.